traced my wife's car, and caught her at a hotel with my work friend. So I collected evidence, kicked her out of my house with divorce, and destroyed everything doing this to her affair partner. So to start off, I don't really like using platforms like this, but I need to let this out and vent somehow, so here I go. I'm 33 male and my wife, 30 female. Been together for 11 years, and I thought everything was good between us. Until recently. For some context, I work as a dispatcher for truckers, and it's a pretty good job. I get good benefits and I make enough where we both can be comfortable. My wife had a job with building gaming computers, but she lost the job due to cutbacks. So I've been the sole earner, and I've been picking up a lot of hours. And one day, my car battery died on me, so I had my wife take me to work. And when we made it to the parking lot, I saw my coworker Andrew. I waved at him, and he walked over to say hello. And that's when I introduced him to my wife. Then she got out of the car to shake his hand. And he looked at me and said that, "You never told me that your wife was so beautiful." She blushed. And I laughed, not thinking about it, saying, "Yeah, I'm lucky to have her." And then we both walked into work after I kissed my wife goodbye. A few days later, I got my car good and running, so I've been going to work like normal. But during lunch, I couldn't help but notice my wife's car in the parking lot. So I walked towards it and see her and Andrew talking and eating lunch in her car. I got upset, but kept it cool and knocked on her window. She opens the door and says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you that me and Andrew were having lunch today together." Then Andrew said, "I hope you're not angry." I took a deep breath and said, "No." And I turned around and walked away from the car because if I said anything else, it was going to start an argument. But I can feel my wife getting frustrated because I walk away like that. So later that day when I got home, she blew up on me saying that I embarrassed her in front of Andrew. And I said, "Why do you even care? And when did you even start hanging out with him?" She said, "I'm a grown-ass woman and I don't have to tell you crap." And then walked off, and since then, she's been distant. And I noticed she's been on her phone more, calling and texting her friends. But I just know that it's Andrew. But I don't want to accuse her. Then I'm wrong and I look like an a-hole. But at the same time, I want to say something. I don't know what to do. Small update. I didn't think it would blow up like this, but I'd like to thank you guys for the advice and support. I talked to my friend and he gave me an Apple AirTag I'm going to put in my wife's car and trail to see if I can find anything and collect evidence. So don't get effed in court if we end up divorcing. But a part of me doesn't want to do it because I don't know if I can handle the pain. Me and this woman went through a lot and been through a lot of crap, and I can't believe she's really going to throw it away this easily. But I'm still going to have to do it. I'll try to update again when I have the time. Quick side note for those following along the text. This is really not great English, so I'm doing my best to make up for confusing continuity. Appreciate the patience. Alright, let's go to the update. Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I posted, but so much happened during the time span and I finally found the time to update. First off, I'd like to thank all of you guys for the support and advice. It really helped me. Quick recap. So my wife had been hanging out with my coworker Andrew without telling me, and when I found out, she basically started getting distant from me, so I suspected that she's been cheating on me with him. When I started to suspect it, my friend gave me this airdrop and I hid it in my wife's car and followed her. She told me that she was going to see a friend, but I didn't believe it. So I followed her in my friend's car to make sure she couldn't spot me, and after a 20-minute drive, she drove up to a hotel. I'm not going to lie, I felt sick and my heart kept pounding. I was really hoping that I was wrong and she was seeing friends, but instead I saw Andrew waving at my girlfriend, and then I see her running and jumping on this guy and kissing him. I was so hurt and angry I wanted to get out and beat Andrews, and tell my wife to get all of her crap out of the house. But I didn't. Instead, I took out my phone and took some pictures and drove off when I saw them walk in the hotel. I went home and cried, screamed, yelled, and punched a hole in the wall. I was feeling too many emotions at once. I called my friend and they came over and I showed him the pictures and started crying again. I screamed 11 years down the effing drain. My friend gave me a hug and told me to get a lawyer and to keep stacking up evidence against her. I don't know if I can keep up the face anymore, but I told my friend I'll try. So during these past weeks, I've been stacking up evidence and keeping my distance. I've seen them go to restaurants, movies, hotels, and every time it hurt, but I tough it out, and she always told me she's going out with her friends or family, but I never called her and said okay. I thought I can keep it up for at least a few more days, especially because the lawyer I'm seeing that I have more than enough evidence to make sure I win and keep everything when we divorce, but I think I messed up yesterday. Yesterday was my birthday, and I wasn't really feeling it. My wife didn't even tell me happy birthday, but her parents did, and when I went to work my coworkers got me a cake and some gifts. I tried holding back the tears because for a moment I forgot about everything at least until I saw Andrew. He got me a gift and I faked a smile and said thank you, and when I opened it, it was a comic Batman Death of the Family. And I actually was surprised because no one at work knew I was into comics and DC was my favorite. And when I told Andrew that, he said my wife told him, and then all I saw was red. Next thing I know, my coworkers are holding me back and Andrew was in the corner covering his nose and yelling what the F. And then I screamed, I knew you've been screwing my wife. Everyone got silent and looked at Andrew, and he tried explaining it to me, but I didn't care. All I wanted to do was beat his, but until he stopped moving. But then my boss came in and sent Andrew home and took me in his office. I told him everything, showed him some of the pictures. He apologized to me and gave me some time off to sort everything out, and he will deal with Andrew. Crap really went south when I got home and my wife was waiting, and she blew up on me saying that I was wrong for doing that to Andrew and that she'll talk him out of pressing charges for hitting him, and kept yelling and yelling saying, Andrew makes me feel like a real woman and treats me right and knows how to make me feel special. And I finally pop, and I just yelled, I don't give an F. She looked surprised and went silent, and I kept going saying, if he makes you feel special, go live with him and have him support you because I'm done. And then she had the nerve to cry and say that she was sorry. Plus, she tried saying how Andrew caught her at a moment of weakness, but I just took a deep breath and told her to get a lawyer because we're getting a divorce, and she really tried to apologize and said that she can't afford one and that we need to work on us, but I just looked at her and told her to pack up, and she kept crying and begging, but I just got her suitcase and called her sister to come pick her up, but she locked herself in the bathroom saying she won't come out until I was willing to work things out with her. I kept telling her that I didn't want to work anything out and we need space because when I see her I feel angry and hurt, and she finally got out and apologized, and then she packed her crap and waited outside for her sister. And now I'm finally in the house alone and I can't stop crying. I feel so many things and I just don't know anymore. I'm going to see my lawyer tomorrow, and sorry if I was all over the place with my post. I'm just feeling horrible and emotional, but I am planning on seeing a therapist soon. I'll definitely update everyone once all this blows over. I'd like to thank everyone again for the advice and support. Alright, let's see the community responses. Massimo says, make sure you divorce her. She only wants to work it out because she's homeless. Typing without thinking says, sounds like Andrew caught her at a couple of hundred moments of weakness. Her butt needs to bounce once and land on the curb. Odd Damage 4689 says, the audacity of this one for F-Sake. First she insults you, belittles you, disrespect and compared to him, then cries and wants to fix the marriage. Glad you told her you were done. She can't afford a lawyer? Too bad. Andrew can take care of her now. Don't dare you take her back. Kick her to the curb. Expose her cheating but to family and friends with evidence so she can't paint you as the bad guy. He got me a gift and I faked a smile and said thank you. And when I opened it, it was the comic Batman Death of the Family. Death of the Family. What a scumbag. Can't blame you that you kicked his butt. Hope your boss will have the balls and get him fired. He caught her at the moment of weakness, so it's him who started. Little validation and attention, and she opens her legs. Did you, her soon-to-be ex-wife, explain how she got his number? How long have they been cheating? He had his fun. I bet he drops her like a hot potato. At least you don't have kids. Divorce should be easier. Keep full no contact. Follow the lawyer's advice. Don't drink. Stay alone in the house. Get out and meet friends and family. Take care. Alright, let's go to the second cheating story. My wife cheated, so I tricked her into cheating again while filming to win prenup. She confessed and now we are done. My 42 male wife, 34 female, and I have been married for almost 12 years. Like everyone else, our lives have been turned upside down, then put on a holding pattern for the last year. My wife has been hit especially hard. She was laid off from a sales job for quite a few months. I am a day trader now, after working for a large investment company for years. I made a great living, but was stressed all the time. So I decided to use what I learned for myself. I worked from home, so we were on top of each other quite a bit. This led to many arguments. Our marriage suffered. In March, my wife was called back to work in a new position, which I encouraged her to take. The position would require her to travel. She really did not like it after just a couple weeks. She hated not being home. I thought she had not given enough time to dislike it. We argued about it. When we married, I had already done quite well financially. I had the highest six figures in the bank. I had been burned in my first marriage by a cheating wife. I had no proof, but she moved on very quickly after the divorce. She received a windfall to settle the proceedings. So, I insisted on a prenup for my second marriage, with a generous payout if we split. There was a lot in there, but to keep this short, the cheating on her part would break the prenup and her payout would be in the five figures. Toward the end of March, she came home from a trip. Her personality was off. I asked if she was okay. She said everything was fine, but she hated her job. The next day, she said we need to talk. She told me she had a one-night stand. She explained the day was a shitfest, her words. The second client canceled on her, which threw her day off. She called her remaining contacts to move her appointments around. They were all okay with it. The guy they canceled called and said he could meet up after his workday. She did not want this guy mad, so invited him to have a business dinner at her hotel. They were to meet in the bar for a drink and then grab dinner. She gets to the bar and orders her drink. She waits, and he has a no-show and no call. She had left a couple messages. She ordered another drink. With her day starting out a shitfest, it was now ending his one. She didn't grab lunch because of all the rearranging of her schedule. Her second drink hits her pretty good. A guy comes into the bar, gets his drink, and they start talking. He was in sales also, so they commiserate about how terrible some clients can be. They keep drinking. She says she had no idea how many drinks she had. She remembers him walking or carrying her to her room. They get there. She falls onto the bed and passes out. She wakes up to him, stroking her hair, as he was sitting up in bed. One thing led to another, and clothes came off, and they had sex. So she confesses, "I am brokenhearted. I am angry. I am crying. Cheating is a deal breaker for me because how my first marriage ended. I was not thinking of the prenup at this point. I told her I needed to think about what has happened. I left for a week. Monday, she was on the road again. Monday, I made an appointment with my attorney for Tuesday. We went over the prenup. He said without proof, she would get the big payout if we divorced. My word against hers. I called her Tuesday night. I told her that I forgave her. I told her after thinking about it, I was turned on by it. I said another man having sex with her and me knowing was exciting to me. She apologized again and said it would never happen again. I told her I wanted to do it again, film it and send it to me. No captions or message. I would call her and take care of myself while watching the video. Maybe one day actually be in the room watching. She giggled, but said she might be able to work up to it, but don't count on it. This pleased her to no end that I forgave her, but had reservations about filming. We talked about this new kink. I told her I never knew it was in me to think this way. On Wednesday day, she calls me and asks if I wanted to do this. I immediately said yes. She said if all goes well, I would get my wish. About 2 a.m. this morning, I received a video of her screwing some guy. I called her about 7 a.m. to thank her for the video. At 9 a.m., I asked the receptionist my attorney's office if I could see him. I had something important for him to see. All right, let's see the top comments. RFNZ says, "What? This has to be fake, right? That was horrific. She now potentially has a recording of you giving full permission to have sex with other men, which would immediately nullify that clause of the prenup. All you needed to do was have a voice recorder in your pocket when you went home to talk it out and ask for the full details of the night again. With her words recorded confirming, if she denies in court or in front of lawyers, you can use that recording to prove a lie. The first lie you prove is the most important. From there, it is hard not to question all other statements. Good luck in the upcoming proceedings, I guess." Big background, 8461 says, "I'm sorry to hear that. I'm 22, and this society nowadays is so messed up in dating and marriage. My first girlfriend had someone else the following week. Broke my heart since she was my first. But in all honesty, your now ex-to-be wife might have been sleeping with other guys and guilt cut up to her. If she was that quick to find someone else in record. But you're such a clever man. Hope she don't take anything from you. Take care."